Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Today, we're going to be diving into how transformation is required from you in order to level up. Like, you can't keep the same habits, you can't keep the same mindset, you can't keep the same discipline that you have and expect for you to achieve new results in your life. Like, just think about it. Like, the man that you are today cannot achieve the goals that you are chasing. Like, he just can't. He literally can't. Because if you were already the man who can achieve the goals that you're chasing, then think about it. You would already have them, bro. Like, you would. There would be no question about it. You already would have had everything that you wanted in life, right? So the question really boils down to is, who do you need to become? Who do you need to become in order to achieve the goals, the targets, the things that you want in life, right? And so I remember, like, man, when I was really like, I wanted to change my fitness. I wanted to change my body. And I say change because now what I do is I lean on the word transformation, right? And so back then I wanted to change. I wanted to change. And it was a lot really of short bursts of time periods of when I went hard and then I fell off. I went hard and then I fell off. I went hard and then I fell off because I wasn't really thinking about who I needed to become in order to achieve the fitness goals that I had, right? And back then I wasn't clear about my fitness goal, right? And the thing was that I didn't realize that this is not a fitness goal. This is a lifestyle change. And so I really started thinking about, who I needed to transform into, right? And what habits that I needed to put in place in order to that by the time I reached 40, right? Because that was my next big milestone, I would become the man who I wanted to become by the time I hit 40, right? But it took me really realizing about who I needed to become in order to realize and in order to produce for myself to become reality the man who would be fucking mentally fit, who would be physically fit, who would feel on fire, right? And all that happens by showing up consistently in your life. Like, the problem was that I wasn't consistent. Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, but you hit it hard for a couple of weeks or you hit it hard for a couple of months. Yeah, but then I'd fall off, right? And it was this roller coaster of like high peaks and really down lows because when I wasn't on the game, I would be fucking destroying my diet. I wouldn't work out at all. I would completely deteriorate all the progress that I had made for myself because I wasn't consistent. Until I really started thinking about who I needed to become, right, in order to be to who I really visualized by the time I hit 40, right, the man that I needed to become, then what I did is I started showing up as that guy every single fucking day. And that's why that whole 1,000 days really started. And to be completely transparent with you, when I first started it, I had the math wrong. I thought that I was going to hit day 1,001 when I turned 40, right? And then I fucked up, right? And then one day, one of my friends was like, yo, I think you have the math wrong. I was like, no, there's no way. He's like, dude, I think you have the math wrong. And I was like, nah, no way. And then he just brushed it off, right? And then it stayed in my head, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then he mentioned it to me again. He's like, oh, I think you have the math wrong. And I was like, bro, I don't think so, but I'm going to double check. Last time I ignored you, but I'm going to double check. And sure enough, I went to double check, and I was off by 1 year. And I was like, motherfucker, right? But it didn't matter because I was already started. I had already like committed to becoming the man that I wanted to become by the time I hit 40, right? And so I was off by a year. So technically I had hit 1001 when I turned 41, right? But because I had already committed to showing up consistently and just focus on who I wanted to become, right? I started just acting as that man right then and there, right? I was already in the progress of doing it. I was already like shifting my mindset. I had already upgraded my identity so that I can transform myself into the man that I wanted to become, right? And the thing is that, I know for sure by the time I hit 40, it might not hit 1001 day and I'll be a year off. But how I feel right now and how, man, mentally I've leveled up, how physically I leveled up, how much spiritual I leveled up, how much my relationships I leveled up, and how much my career is on the way up. Like, man, I can tell you that I'm gonna, like, subconsciously already have hit that by the time I hit 40, even though 1001 is when I turn 41, right? And that's actually funny. I just thought about that. 1001 is when I turn 41. That actually rhymes. But, that's just the thing of life, right? So you really need to focus on who you need to become in order to achieve the things that you want, and then start acting as that man right now, right? Like, you need to be willing to upgrade your identity. You need to be able to see yourself as the man who fucking wins, right? Like, you need to be like, to create this image for yourself, right? Your self-image needs to set a fucking ceiling so high that you're not going to be able to limit yourself, right? And then what happens is that when you feel like you're hitting close to that ceiling, you're going to fucking punch through that motherfucker and break that glass ceiling, or you're going to fucking raise it again, right? You're going to raise the bar so that you know that you're never technically going to reach it, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, so what, you're chasing this never ending thing? Absolutely, right? This is a whole lifestyle approach. This is a transformation into a lifelong of expansion, right? And so if you still see yourself as the guy who tries, right, instead of the guy who fucking does, you're gonna always fall short, right? And this is why I'm so committed into a lifestyle of expansion for fucking ever, right? Like, this doesn't stop, right? And so I just set milestones along the way, and I think about who I need to become, right? And then I start acting as that man before I am that man in order to create that man, right? It's all related, right? And so let me give you an example. Like, think about a guy who wants to get in top shape, like how the example that a real life example who I just made, right? So if he still identifies himself, right, as he is not a morning person, oh, I just can't wake up, oh, and he constantly tells him some shit, this bullshit lie, right, that we all make these make believe fucking thoughts in ourselves, and we let them dictate how we act, right? And so if this guy, and he constantly tells himself, I'm not a morning person, I can't get up early, it's just not how I roll, right? It's not in my DNA. He's never gonna fucking get up. He's never gonna, like, really make the change, right? But if he dedicates himself to establishing a new identity and really acting as the man who needs to become, right? And then he starts waking up consistently, whether it be at 4, whether it be at 5, whether it be at 6, whatever it is, earlier than you need to in order to get to start your day, then he starts becoming the man, the kind of guy, the kind of fucking leader who's gonna thrive in the discomfort, right? Because that's the thing. A lot of us don't fucking do it because it takes discomfort. It takes literally peeling layers off of yourself in order to become the man who's gonna achieve the things that you fucking want, right? And so start referring to yourself as the man who already does what is fucking necessary, right? It's not man, I'm gonna try. It's I'm gonna fucking do this shit no matter what. I'm committed to this shit, and I'm either gonna fucking die, or I'm gonna do it, or I'm gonna die fucking trying. And that's the type of mindset shift. That's the type of identity that you need to adopt if you really want to create the fucking lifestyle that you want, right? And so instead of saying like, oh, I want to be a great husband, right? You're gonna say is, I am a great husband, and I am someone who prioritizes my marriage, right? And then what happens is your mind subconsciously, you start doing things to show up as that new identity, right? You start becoming the man who will have a great fucking marriage. You will start becoming the man who is a great husband, right? But you need to be able to adopt that identity and think about who you need to become before you actually become that thing that you keep saying, right? It really, you got to just start acting before you are that person, and then you will create that person, right? But the thing is that most people say, oh yeah, I want this, or I want that, or yeah, when the time is right, it's never going to be fucking right? But if you don't willing to start right now, before you're actually that person, then you will never fucking become that person, right? You literally gotta ruthlessly cut out the old version of yourself, right? Like, think about like your old habits, like what weak disciplines do you have? Like, what fucking toxic environments are you around? Like all that shit gotta go. Like, it's not gonna survive on the journey for you to becoming the next level of yourself, right? Because that's gonna hold you back. You literally gotta peel off those layers. Like I learned this from one of my my mentors, right? And he's like, yo, you got to be willing to die and be reborn emotionally time and time again. And I didn't really understand that for a while, right? Until I fucking had to die emotionally. And what that means is you fucking break through, like you release this emotional baggage that you have through a breakdown, right? An emotional breakdown. And you fucking start crying. You're like, yo, what the fuck? And it typically happens when you're in a season of hardship, when you're in a season of fucking winter, when you're in a season of like, that, oh my God, I feel like I can't go through this. I feel like I can't achieve. I feel like everything is fucking just falling apart. And if you keep going, you will break through that fucking ceiling and you will peel off that layer and you will be reborn into the next version of yourself, right? And so if you want different results, you need to be willing to have different fucking standards. Like the standards that you have right now are not going to achieve the results that you want, right? Just think about it, right? Like if your goal is to be financially free, right? This is like a goal that a lot of men have, right? Where I have that goal too, right? And I think that the real goal is to be able to be in charge of your own time, right? And that comes with being financially free, right? But let's say, fine, let's stick with the word financially free, right? If you're still blowing money on the things that don't serve your future, right? Then you're living as the old you, right? If you're constantly looking for ways of how to blow money, like just unconsciously, right? And not put money aside, not invest, not make moves in order to become financially free, then you will never become financially free, right? Like the key mindset shift here is that you need to stop seeing change as losing something, right? You need to start seeing change as like you're outgrowing something, right? You're becoming better, right? And it all takes you becoming the man that you need to become right now before you are that man, right? Like like something that works is that you can list the habits, you can list the excuses that you have, you can list the patterns that are holding you back. Like you can list all the shit that you look and you put in a bucket and it's like, all right, what do I do right now? The habits, the excuses, the patterns, the people I hang around with, like the everything. Like, what does this not serve the man that I really want to become? Right? Like, and whether it be, more financially stable, whether it be more fit, whether it be have a better job, whether it be a better husband, whether it be a better father, whether it be fucking just being a fucking role model. Like think about it. What do you do right now that doesn't serve that person? And then you got to start thinking about eliminating that shit out of your life, about cutting that out of your life in order to you to become that person that's going to achieve those things, right? Be willing to burn that fucking list, right? Physically and symbolically, right? So, and once you create that, burn that shit, right? And then commit to the actions that align with that new identity. Like that person that you want to become, right? What are his habits, right? What are his routines, right? Who are the people he hangs around with, right? Does he make excuses or does he just fucking he just goes for it, right? Like think about it. Like what and how does that person act like? And then start becoming that person right now. That's who you need to become. And in the process of becoming that person right now, you start working towards creating that reality for yourself, right? And in the process, you got to be willing really to just adopt relentless action. Like that needs to be your approach, right? Because relentlessly committing to the next level of yourself is how you're gonna fucking achieve it. Because most people are gonna quit. Most people, the minute it gets hard, they're gonna give up. They're gonna be like, oh, but I went hard for like 2 or 3 weeks, right? Bro, and you think that's gonna cut it? Like, bro, show me going hard for like 2 or 3 years, and I promise you that by then you're gonna be like, yo, like before you even get to the fucking first year, you're already gonna be like, yo, this is fucking amazing. I never want to stop this shit because you're gonna be so on fucking fire, right? And so adopt the relentless action, and then the formula really is the be, do, have formula, right? You see, most guys, they think that once I have the success, then I will do the things that successful people do, and then I will be successful, right? That's the fucking average thinking, right? But that thinking is so fucking backwards and it doesn't work, right? The right mindset to have around this is that first, I must be the man who does what is necessary, and then only then will I have the success that I want. You need to be willing to become the man who creates that life right now. Just think about it. Like an example here is that, like, man, you don't wait to feel confident before you start leading, right? You don't wait to feel fearless before you start taking the action, right? you start leading, you start taking action, and then what happens is the confidence follows, but not the other way around, right? So each day ask yourself, like, what would the best version of me be doing right now, right? And then when you come up with an answer, like, then go do that shit and eliminate the excuses. Fuck the feelings. Like, it's gonna take uncomfortable action. But how bad do you fucking want the life that you say you want it? And so, as we wrap up this episode, my question really for you right now is: are you living as the man who can achieve your goals, or are you still playing as your past self? And then my challenge for you really is to move forward, to act like the man who has already achieved what you want, right? Like, make every decision from that mindset, right? And then as you do it, document your changes, document your evolution, document your transformation so that you can look back and be like, damn, I used to be really fucked up back then, but then look how much I've grown. Look how much I've leveled up. Man, look, because what happens is that when you're in the process, your mind is gonna fucking throw at you these fucking old ass memories, these old ass limiting beliefs, this old ass bullshit is gonna try to bring you down because it feels that you're uncomfortable and that just doesn't correlate with the growth that it wants. And you gotta prove it wrong. And that's why it's important for you to document. So you can look back and be like, yo, fuck you, mind. Like, look how much I've grown. You gotta prove to it that you're actually leveling up and that you continue leveling up. No matter what. That's the type of mindset that it takes. And so then my final thought here is really this. Like, the future you want doesn't come from the man that you are right now. Think about it. Like, I hope this message relates to you, right? The future you want doesn't come from the man that you are right now. It comes from the man that you are willing to become. So step into that motherfucker today, right now. Stop waiting. Let's get to fucking work. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. If by any chance you still haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you connected with today's message, if you resonated with today's message, if you felt some type of way about it, man, do me a favor and please share this on your story. And make sure that you tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that help more gearheads to see and really hear about this podcast. And ultimately, that's how our community grows. Catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.